going on, guys and girls? How doing today? It's Single Roleplay here once again. Today I want to talk about the POE and why I feel like I'm playing less and less POE and overall the general burnout and multiple reasons why it's happening. First thing that you need to understand, guys, is I'm not stopping playing POE entirely. I have huge amount of builds which I love. I've spent a lot of time on them. I keep supporting them. I keep replying your questions daily on the forums. I get dozens of questions every day. I get countless questions on YouTube, on my stream, everywhere. I'm trying as much as I can to help you guys to have the quality experience within the game, and I will never stop playing POE as a whole because it's a great game. There's a lot of potential things to do, and it's still fun. But there are a couple of reasons which kind of make it more tedious for me and more problematical for me to play, and I wanted to talk about these reasons in this video. So let's get going. Before we go further into the video, I would like to stop for a second and thank my Patreon supporters and Twitch subscribers. You guys are making a huge impact on my life and allow me to get going and continue creating content for all of you. Thank you so much. If you want to make it into the list and immortalize yourself on the internet, join Patreon to get sneak peeks and behind the scenes footage of my work. I'm always looking for feedback on my content, guys, in order to improve, so making sure you always leave comment, like or dislike. Your reaction is very important. And remember,
you, yes you, are making a difference.
First thing that I want to talk about is the endless clicking in POE, guys. There's a lot of things to manage and a lot of things to click on the ground. Even with some strict filters, there's still a lot of fragments, currency, and things that just refuse to stack, and you need to click on them on the ground to pick them up. Then you need to click on from the inventory, and you click on them in your stash. And overall, it's just tremendous amount of clicking. And I'm not even talking about clicking on the monsters. It's the least amount of clicking you gotta do. The most clicking you're doing is picking up shit and managing it. There's so much stuff to manage, and there's tremendous amount of clicking needs to be done to pick up this shit. Unfortunately, at a certain point in my life, it started to inflict physical damage on me. In Delirium League, my RSI showed up, which is the carpal tunnel, because my wrists were under absolutely insane amount of strain and stress. In Delirium League, you needed to pick up all these insane things in the simulacrums. That's why I'm showing you one. And it just tremendous amount of stuff you needed to pick it up. All these little splinters and shit, like hundreds and thousands of little things you need to constantly put a strain on your wrists, fingers, everything else. It's just insane. This is where the problem started to really resurface, because I've never really had any wrist pain or strain before that. I did have some, but it was not really that critical. But in this league, it really became physically problematical for me to play, because I literally woke up in the morning and my wrist was super numb. I didn't feel them. I had to massage them to bring some life into them. I couldn't even understand what is causing that. But after I'm playing POE again, the same day, I instantly realized that just I didn't even notice it, but was constant pressuring the mini maps and constant pressuring on the right on the right and left button. I just put so much endless strain. There's literally no delay between the actions. You constantly click on something. You constantly do something. There's literally no period of relaxation for your wrists. That's why it caused permanent damage on my hands, and yeah, it became a real physical health issue for me. It's one of the reasons why I just decided I'm not gonna play the Harvest League, because I knew that managing the garden for me will be absolutely terrible, because it's a lot of micromanagement, a lot more clicking than in Delirium. So I decided I'm gonna make an experiment, guys, and completely skip the Harvest League for the same reason. And guess what? In Harvest League, I played Dark Souls on the controller, on the Xbox controller. I finished Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. And I practically never had the wrist numbness and pain anymore. And that rang the bell for me. I quickly, summed 1 and 1 and realized that it's the POE that causes me the wrist strain. It's the POE clickness that actually inflicts physical pain and damage to my health. And this is where I started to make my decisions to play less POE. Another thing that really makes me kind of depressed when I launch POE is I quickly understand just how much shit I need to manage in the game. All these fucking dozens and dozens of little things, the orbs, the little things like splinters, maps, fucking eyes, clusters, and all that shit. And it just, every league just keeps adding more and more shit to it. Everything of this like clutters my stash, my inventory, my whatever, my skill tree. And just managing this stuff takes so much time. Sometimes you just sit there and just click on this bullshit and just trying to sort this into different tabs, like dozens of tabs just to have things sorted. The management is insane. At this point, there's too much stuff in the game. And the problem is it just keeps on piling up. It just keeps adding on more shit. Like every league, every expansion adds more stuff together, more clutter, more stash tabs. They try to squeeze more shit in the existing stash tabs, like making them more optimized, condensed, like more, like minimizing stuff on these things so you can click like more shit on it. I mean, management takes a lot of time in PoE, and if you're new, you just absolutely don't understand what these things are doing, and they just sit there, you don't even use them, but you just don't even know how to use them because it's that complex. It's became very complex. Some of the things that you have in the game are just not even necessary anymore. You can do them, you can do them not. Like the heist, the temple, the delve. Then it's not really even important to do this, but still it exists in the game. You say like, okay, I'll do this, and then you spend like 30 minutes there, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and you haven't even played the game. You're just doing some side content, which is not even important, but simply because it's right there, you keep doing it, you're just wasting your fucking time, achieving practically nothing. You just spend time in the game for nothing, literally, just gaining nothing from it. So it's one of the reasons, just before the league starts, I start thinking like I need to accumulate all this bullshit again, all this currency, all these things like the fragments, the tab for this, like the jewels, this enriched shit just doesn't go anywhere, this fucking timeless jewels and this and fossils and god, the catalyst, the oils, oh my fucking god, all this shit again. And I feel like, oh fuck this, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to see it anymore. It's one of the problems, guys. Another reason why I play less and less PoE is because when I think about trading, I recently understand all the pain that I need to go through in order to get some items for my builds. A lot of people actually switch to SSF for this reason, but they're not really creating builds. They don't need to optimize anything. At this point, the power creep in the game is really strong, and you can definitely finish all content on SSF. It's not big of a deal. It's not really any kind of accomplishment even, but if you're really creating something, you really feel like you're optimizing something, you need trading, you need this interaction. But it's gated behind the system from 1996, and this is trading from the website. You need to Alt-Tab, you need to go to the fucking website, you need to enter all these mods, in there, and then press like search, and then something shows up, and then you need to whisper. The other guy just gets his message in the game, then he clicks and invites you to the party if he's not busy. If he's busy, he just doesn't give a fuck. And you need to message another guy and waste more time. and maybe this guy's a bot and he's just not there at all. You know, you never know. But it just takes tremendous amount of time to get the items that you need and get rid of the items that you don't need. And Soul Self-Found, you don't have issue, of course, because you're just playing off the ground. But at the same time, you pile up a lot of shit too, which you don't need. You can't even use for a build. That's also kind of stupid part of the Soul Self-Found. So yeah, the system behind trading in this game is extremely outdated, and it hasn't ever moving in any direction. You know, on top of that, there's multiple third-party applications and macros and shit and whatever, just to make your life easier, just to make the pricing easier, just to make the setting easier. There's multiple tools like that. And it only makes the whole thing worse because it just bombs the official server. It makes everything slows down, like, and it's like the dead end. You know, the official sources, they kind of refuse to do anything because they believe their system is fine, and the third party has been constantly like becoming less effective because of different restrictions and limitations, and can't even function in full effectiveness and full force. So just thinking about selling something in PoE makes me a little bit of depressed, and just thinking how much time of jumping between the hideouts, messaging to AFK people, trading with currency bots and all those things, it just makes me really depressed. And I really, like, when I think about it, I really don't want to go through this whole process because I just know how tedious, boring, and stupid it is, and I just don't want to waste my time on this, guys. This is one of the reasons also why I play less and less PoE. Another thing, and the reason why I play less and less PoE, is because the endgame has become really dull and tedious, in my opinion, and it's just kind of artificially inflating the endgame and just making it longer and harder to achieve by just making it more repetitive and boring. And I'm talking about the expansions. You know, before that, in the galaxy, like far away, we had just the Shaper Guardians, and that was the end game. Then they added the Elder Guardians. There was Shaper Guardians, Elder Guardians, and the Uber Elder and the Elder itself. But then there was another expansion, you know, and they added the Watchstones, and there was a lot of the Guardians of the Atlas, you know, and the Baran, the Hesmine, the Veritania, and the Drox. And now we need to have 32 Watchstones on the Atlas in order to be able to fight the hardest boss in the game, which is Cyrus in the Hardest Awakening level. And Cyrus is the worst designed boss I've ever seen. It's the most boring, tedious, unfair, crappy design ever. But it's all about the end game and how long it takes to the end game. You know, guys, for me, in order to make a solid build, I need to test it in the hardest possible content. And it's not tier 16 bosses, it's not Shaper anymore. I need to get to the hardest awakening level now and taste it on the end game bosses. This is a good benchmark for all my builds. But the problem is, in order to get there, it takes tremendous amount of time and a lot of effort and just grinding the same shit over and over again. Grinding these awakening levels is the worst, most boring thing that happened for the last 4 years in PoE, in my opinion. You know, before that, it was pretty straightforward. You get to the maps, kill the Shaper Guardians, kill the Shaper. You see, you kill the Shaper, you build walks. Okay, they added the Uber Elder. Kill the Elder Guardians, kill the Uber Elder. You build walks. Now you need to kill, like, get 32 Watchstones. Then you need to kill all the 4 Guardians. And only then you have a chance, like an attempt at the endgame boss. If you fail it, you get together the fucking 4 bosses again. And only then you get a chance. There is no There's no fragments like the Uber Elder. For Uber Elder, you can go buy the fragments, try the Uber Elder. It's easy. If you have the currency, but you don't have the time, you can go buy yourself the fragments and try to benchmark your build for at the endgame boss. It was straightforward, straight to the point, guys. With the Cirrus and the Maven, you can do it. You need invitations. This new expansion, Echoes of the Atlas expansion, you need the invitations. Tremendous amount of things. But at least you have the Maven invitation now. It's just easy to go and do. This is an upgrade over Cirrus in my opinion, but still, the endgame is extremely overcomplicated now, extremely tedious and very repetitive and boring. Honestly, the first time I played the Conquerors of the Atlas expansion, it was okay, it was fun, it was new and fresh, but the second league already I started to get bored with it, gathering on the watchstones again and again, and the third league I just said, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it, and I skipped the league, because when I start thinking about doing all these things, gathering on the watchstones, I already get instantly bored, guys. Not to mention the awakening bonus objectives with just like another layer of maps on top of your existing maps, with more objectives to do, with more shit to grind. Literally recycling content to no end. This is what it does. I think it's just artificially inflating the length of the endgame for no real reason, just to kind of try to slow down maybe the progression of the people and the players. But what we see as the big retention of the players, people don't even get to the endgame. They bored way before that. They stop playing the game because there's too much stuff to do and the endgame is too far. They will never get there. So I think it hurts the overall experience of the game itself, and it's just the way it is right now, guys. The last thing that I want to talk about is actually not performance, as you probably thought, because, you know, performance is an obvious thing. It has always been shit in the game. Occasional crash in the lab, or desynced and dead, or died in some mega fucking lag. You know, lost your instance because the server fucking died or something like that. It just became like a normal thing, and I'm not really surprised by that anymore. It won't stop me from playing. But what stops me from playing is the actual lacking of interesting skills. Skills are the core of the Path of Exile. This is why you like, look, the skill is fun. You tried, you played, and you played for like weeks, guys, for months. Because the skill is cool. You just like to shoot these things or to hit these things with these things. It's just fun. Skills are the core of POE. And honestly, the lack of interesting skills, it just that stops me from creating new builds. And this is a big issue for me because I like creating builds. But, you know, very rarely do I see anything new, interesting to try. Especially the new skills, which kind of sucked right from the start, or just too terrible. They do not scale well, they have no supported uniques, no supported interactions, or simply they are the reskins and the revokes of existing skills. Like, you know what GGG is good at? Is they just good at completely reskinning the existing skills and items. So let's say we have like a bleed damage over time attack, you just take it, turn into this spell, and you have like the fucking damage over time spell instead. Or you take something like a lightning attack, turn it into the spell, and you have something like crackling lance, for example, already. You take something, change the balls into the poison, and you have some different poison attack or something like that. It doesn't change the fundamentals of the skill, it just makes it so it's pretty much a reskin of something that already exists in the game. It doesn't make it more fun and interesting for me. What I really want from the game is to have more interesting skills to play with. For example, was very hyped when I saw the Hex Blast and the Void Sphere. I tried making the build with this, I played for a bit, and unfortunately both skills kind of sucked on their own, so yeah, it was really depressing. So what I want from the game is I want to see more interesting skills and not just revamping reskins. and unfortunately it's just not happening. Alright guys, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video, and of course there could be more topics than that, but I really wanted to make this video for a while, guys, and you know, there's more things that I could talk about, but the basic points are here right before you, and I'm pretty sure you will agree to the most of them, but maybe there is something that I missed, and maybe there is something that stops you from playing POE more and stops you from playing POE at all. Let me know in the comment section, guys. I really hope to see something from you guys here, and I want to see you on my streams as well, because I'm playing some different games which I haven't been playing for a long time. Right now I'm playing The Witcher, which is a great experience, and I'm having a ton of fun. Thanks for watching, guys and girls, and see you next time.